This video is about bad habits and things you should stop doing or start doing in Pubg Mobile. And this is a bad habit, but I'm never gonna stop. Uppercut, sonic boom. Bad habits you have to break. This is about breaking the bad habit of thoughtless rotations. Rotations that make no sense and are just simply being driven by the blue. What you want to do is be proactive with this. You want to make decisions on where you want to rotate to for reasons. You don't want to just go because you're going to die otherwise, okay? And this is such a bad habit to break. We all do it. We fall in love with the gunfight. We fall in love with the fact that there's a guy in the 5 stacks, there's a guy in the red apartments, there's a guy in the casino, and I've got to clear all them before I can leave Picardo, because if I don't clear them all, then what? Nothing will happen. You can leave Picardo anytime you want. It's not going to make any difference. But this is what happens to me, and I rotate really, really badly. I played in a scrims today, which was IGL'd by Optus, one of the guys from 8-Bit, and he's fantastic. The way he IGL'd was absolutely lovely. He rotated to the edge of the circle all the time, and you might remember one of my first videos that did really well was rotating in the blue, surfing the edge of the blue. And he did that, but he also did it in such an elegant way. So all these rotations were to the edge of the circle, but they were then holding formations, holding patterns. They weren't rotations to camp squads out all the time or anything. They were rotations where even if you rotated to a compound, you didn't rotate and then push into the middle of the compound. It was just to hold that edge, wait till an opportunity arose. And even in the midst all the chaos and the mayhem of people firing and UAZs burning past and Molotovs and grenades and marks and team chat, when it came time to rotate, he just jumped in a car and said, okay, we're moving my mark, and bang, we're off. And it was lovely to have someone remind me that that's the most important part of the game. The only thing you can't change in PUBG Mobile is the circle. The circle is going to circle whether you want it to or not. You can control the way you play. You can control the way the opposition plays to a degree by shooting at them, or blowing up the tires on their buggy, whatever you want to do. But when you think about it, the circle is the thing you have to really pay the most attention to. So I immediately started working harder on this, and I started thinking about this. And this game is a great example of that. You can see I left these guys Picardo. I just left it to them. The circle was coming. It was going to end up that everyone was going to have to leave their hiding spot at the same time in Picardo. You're fighting in the blue against people that don't seem to care. And instead, I left and started working the edges of the circle. Now, the thing I really like about this, when you start getting smarter about this stuff, is you can play and you can rank and still get decent kill games. You'll still have 15 kills in a game or 10 kills in a game. You'll pick them up along the way, and you'll pick up a lot of the kills quite simply because, like this guy here, you're going to see, I'm rotating right on the edge of the circle. I always like to get the height on the very edge of the circle, and if possible, be short-sighted for the next circle. And as I'm rotating to the top of the mountain, I hear gunfire behind me. Even if I missed this shot and this guy got back across the other side of that ridgeline, he would still have to rotate in through me. And that's because I am paying attention to the circle first and the rest of the game second. You want to look for squads in compounds. You want to look for, burned out buggies. You want to look for anything like that. Like I was rotating to the edge of the circle and I saw a car up here, and I realized that if I pulled up, I was going to get absolutely overlooked and screwed. And instead, that guy blew my car up, which blew him up, which was really random. But you could see the buggy there. It was obvious. And then I was happy days. This is where we're going to be. This is on the edge of the circle. Lots of work still to do. 14 left. And I've got 7 kills. I mean, it's not a high kill game, but it's certainly not the kind of game where you're not picking up any kills at all. And this is an interesting one because there was a guy camping the garage just there, but there is also a guy way out 210 who I thought was the one firing at me. So I'm going to clear the guy 210. And the guy in the garage waits until I start looting again. This is one of the reasons why I poke, is because he doesn't have a big gun. But then he hits me for quite a bloody lot. And I'm like, that's the wrong weapon that was just firing at me. Maybe he was firing at me with the M416 in his hand and I just couldn't hear it. So I'm a little bit nervous here and I don't stop moving. I'm very, very worried that that wasn't the right guy. And we've already used 2 first aids here, right? So we start looking through our stuff and we absolutely are not stopping moving because I'm not sure that that was the guy who shot at me at all, but I can't understand where, oh, hello. And this is why you love rotating on the edges because basically the only thing I'm really worried about is what's going on behind me. What's happening in front of me, in the center of the circle, that's someone else's problem. All I have to do is maintain my position here on the edge and make sure that I have a good path to rotate in. This is such a bad habit to break. The circle management, not paying attention to the only thing in game that doesn't give 2 Fs, whether you like it or not. It's just, I'm just like, where is this guy? And he's actually moved out onto the roof there to get this shot because he was just, I think I must have just frustrated him by taking a whole bunch of hits from him on 3 different engagements and not dying. And then we use another first aid. Then when we make our rotation across to this guy, which is going to happen, you're going to see someone who's rotating in from the circle, someone who hasn't been proactive, and someone who hasn't constantly stayed on the edges, someone who's stayed like in the blue, someone who's just running in from way out the back and is really not in a good space. I will always shoot at a BRDM. I just will always shoot at a BRDM. You can see we're right on the edge of the circle here. This guy is on foot running in. That's just not good. And that happens. That's going to happen because, you know, some wanker shot the wheels out of your car, or you couldn't find a vehicle, or you didn't have enough meds, or whatever the case may be. And then we just roll back over to this hillside because we've heard gunshots down this way. And this is where that guy and the guy on the left are teaming. Okay, very annoying. We headshot him. We take a level 3 helmet shot from, I think it was an M24. But I'm like, seriously? Just, could you give me a break? I mean, there he is just down there. Once. Twice. The guy that's down here on the left has gone all the way back down to that hut. And we're going to start rotating in. But what we're going to do is we can't clear this guy. He's going to smoke up. And I'm not going to get fixated on this. I'm not going to stand here and watch him and try and fire into him as he crosses the road deep in the blue. I'm just going to look after my own rotations. You can see him crossing the road down there. Pull the guns out to try and get a hold of him, but yeah, he's gone. It doesn't matter. Not a big deal. And we're just rotating in. Now, I get a little bit cute here, I will admit, towards the end of this. But I feel like the point has definitely been made in this video. And I've got to be honest, this is something that I can relate to. This does resonate with me. I always used to win games by playing smart, and I've dropped away from that a little bit. I don't care so much about ranking these days. I'll get to ace quite often, but I just don't push it. I'll end up in high crowns. I mean, last season, I didn't try to get to ace. I got there, and the season before the same, because you're playing a lot. But that, I'm not against ranking is what I'm trying to say. But what I'm against is ranking passively. And this may seem pretty passive, but for me, I won't snake. Okay. So I end up in situations like this where if I'm not going to snake, then I've got to be creative to get around that. And I know that guy's got a grazer. I'm not worried about that. I've got a Mark 14. Once you've got a Mark 14, there's not much else that worries you. And do you see how I keep rotating right to the edge of the circle? And I see an opportunity here. That guy's cleared the guy on my left. There's 3 of us left. There's 1 guy down at the compound to my south. And that's a ridge line that I can get to there. If I drive my car up to that ridge line and jump out, I'll have an overlook on this guy and he'll be forced to rotate into the circle. Small margin of error, but well worth the risk. And that's where you be proactive. And you've played smart the whole game. Have a look. I got 12 kills. It's not like a huge high kill game, but it's not a passive mode of gameplay. The game goes long enough that you can rack these kills up. You can actually do positive things. And now I'm just being silly. This is the problem. And this is exactly why this video is being made. Because, let's be honest, this is just... I know it works. But, I mean, it's probably a little bit too much. I should have just gone and killed that guy there. I could have gone to the tractor and taken that high ground instead. I just want to see if I can do something fun and kill him from the back of the car. And this is why I'm making the video, because we lose focus. We stop this kind of game, and he's just throwing a grenade. I knew that was going to hurt. I knew it was going to hurt quite a bit. Lay down behind the smoke, just as well I dropped that smoke earlier. He's pistol firing into the car. That's cool. You can smoke that up, buddy. I've got a Mark 14. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I do appreciate it. I think these videos do serve a purpose, not just to help people who are starting the game, but to also help me to maintain my focus. It's a wonderful thing. And yeah, look after yourself. Stay safe in the battlefield. And until next time, bye for now.